What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there? This is Reese from MarsupiEmpire.com.
What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, thesermonsdomain.com.
And today we're going to be doing the album review for To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar's new album he put out. That was on March 16th. The album dropped. Surprise album.
Yep.
It was supposed to come out March 23rd, but surprise, we got it early. And much to our benefit, by the way, because this album is amazing.
Yeah, and on top of that, we've seen a lot of people, posting their reviews within, a day or two.
Very premature, I think.
Very premature for an album of this caliber. So we wanted to definitely take, the week to really absorb this album, and we can essentially take a month and still be trying to, understand this album.
You really
still trying to get it, because that's how deep Kendrick made it. That's how detailed the story is. So basically, I interpret To Pimp a Butterfly as Kendrick's life after Good Kid, Mad City, and it's kind of where he's at now, and I think it's like a good body of work. It all works together, I feel, from start to finish. The songs are interesting because I like the fact that you can listen to something like Wesley's Theory in the beginning, is one thing, and then the song, when he gets to the song portion, is something else. He does that a lot on the album, with like little interludes within the song, and that's something that I appreciated.
So taking it from the very beginning, this album, just the intro to the album, I found myself, so I played it so much that I found myself saying every nigga is a star, and like I had to think about like what that meant to me, you know what I mean? And I feel like kind of similar to what you were saying as far as like this is Kendrick's life after Good Kid, Mad City. I feel like this is Kendrick's life as a black man, period. You know what I mean? Everything on this album, every song has to do with a struggle, be it personal or cultural.
Right.
It's hard to put a finger on to say this is what he's feeling at the time, but it's like, bro, he spoke for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? He really spoke for us. He spoke to us. Everything, even the first song was dealing with financial irresponsibility. You know what I mean? Financial plight. And some of the evils that go along with becoming rich or having money or whatever. You know? If you look at the lyrics, when he's talking about you get your tax return, you blow it. You know what I'm saying? What do you do with extra money? You blow it. So it's dealing with issues that we deal with in the black community. And this is a very pro-black album. I can't say that if you're not black, you're not gonna get it. I can't say that.
No, because I'm only half black and I get it.
Right.
But I know white people on Twitter that definitely like the album and they get it as well.
I've also heard some white folks say, and not to make it a race thing, because I don't want to make it a race thing, but I've also heard some white people say, like that's not everybody. Everybody doesn't go through that. And I'm like, bro, you can't just take that out of the conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I look at it like this. Obviously, there's not going to be too many people that fit to the entire album in terms of like what they've gone through. But you got to look at it like, A, this is good music, and B, even if you are not feeling, how Kendrick felt throughout your life, there is something out of this that you can probably take away. Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a race thing at that point.
For instance, I've dealt with depression a lot in my life.
Yeah.
So I understand, the concept of of not feeling, good enough. And
right. I think everybody.
Yeah.
If you have a standard for yourself, I think at some point in time.
And I think he executed that record perfectly. I like the whole, being drunk, rapping, and
talking about suicide.
Just going in on himself. And it was. I
love every song on this album. When we first got the singles off the album, we heard I first. Yeah. We got The Black of the Berry, and then we heard King Kunta, right? Yeah. I heard I, and I didn't like I, but I understood I, and I was like, okay, I get what he's going for. A lot of people were like, that's like the Macklemore deterrent. Right. And I was like, nah, bro, like, Kendrick's been on this wave of like self-love, you know what I'm saying, and like embodying that ever since we first started listening to Kendrick, especially during Section 80. There was a lot of that self-reflection, love self, love us, love our culture. And so like when I hear a song like I'm like, okay, bro, I get what you're going for. You know what I mean? I may not like the sound of it. Right. Then to hear The Black of the Berry, it was like, bro, this is like, rapper's rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the more Kendrick that we're accustomed to hearing. And everybody was up in arms. Kendrick can't say those type of things. He can't say that about the black community. Who are you to call us hypocrites? And it just begs the question, are you not a hypocrite? You know what I mean? He called himself a hypocrite first. But are you not a hypocrite, bro? Right. You know what I mean? To even spark the idea about, the Mike Brown situation. You know what I mean? Like with the Mike Brown situation, it was, this happened to us. or someone within our community, you know, and we talk about police brutality all the time, but we still promote gang violence. Every other rapper out there, bro, is quick to be in arms through rap, you know, with another black person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering where all the guns and shit are when a Mike Brown situation happens.
Right.
Now, there's somebody obviously coming into your neighborhood oppressing you. Where's all the guns out now? You know what I mean? But you're quick to run up on this dude for his chains or his jewelry, or somebody disrespect you with your girl. It's a cultural thing, bro. So I feel like for Kendrick to call that out, it's like, okay, yeah.
And the people that don't get it, you know, it's kind of unfortunate. Like, I think you really got to listen to the song multiple times. You got to listen to the whole album multiple times. To
Absolutely,
really
you can't. It's not a one listen thing. Yeah, with every album, obviously, but this one thing requires a little more depth.
Yeah.
But every song I hear, bro, is just powerful, and they all have like a theme, and they're all going towards a particular goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's rare because a lot of people's albums are just everywhere.
Right.
I'm gonna get this song to appease the women. I'm gonna get this song to, you know, be in the club. And I'm gonna get this song to just kind of feel it.
Yeah.
You know, or these are my thoughts on this, and I'm gonna make this sound deep on this track. And it's like there's no
filler on this album.
There's no filler on this album.
None.
Everything has a purpose on this album. Everything goes towards something. This is such a black album, bro. I'm gonna continue to say that because it's like different elements of our culture and our music. Like there's jazz elements in here. You know what I mean? There's the West Coast gangster rap era. There's West Coast funk era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? All that.
Yeah, when I heard that, when I first heard the beat, I was like, "Yo, this reminds me of the Doggy Style intro."
It did. It reminded me of All Eyes on Me and that intro. Probably just because George Clinton was a part of it.
Right.
But it still reminded me of that.
George Clinton been a part of some classic West Coast.
Absolutely, bro.
I also like the fact that Rhapsody is on the album.
Man, that's big for her. Bro.
Yeah,
that's dope. I love the fact that Terrence Martin's on the album.
Yeah.
He brought Bilal back to life, bro. That was so dope to me. I think Bilal's on it twice.
Yeah,
Bilal's on it, man. So
back
looking at the yep. I wanted to hear the Untitled joint he did on the Colbert Report.
Yeah.
Like, and when they said they snatched it off of away from iTunes, I thought they were going to re-release it with that. So I'm still like kind of jealous that whoever's heard that in its entirety heard that. You know? Because I want that. I want that so bad. Like I wanted that to be on the album.
Yeah, and I hope at one point Kendrick does some kind of interview where he explains why he didn't feel it fit in the album, or you know, something like that.
Why he didn't make it? Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking at the production list and I'm like flipping out, bro, because you got Soundwave doing a lot on the album.
Soundwave.
You got Terrence Martin producing a lot of stuff on the album also. You got Flying Lotus in here, right? Pharrell did a track also. Did he do the track or is he just featured on it? Yeah, he produced it.
Pharrell produced it.
Yeah.
Soundwave.
With Soundwave, yeah. So there's just like a lot of really good shit on here.
And on top of that, I like how he's also introducing, you know, some new producers as well. You got Knowledge on there.
Sorry, didn't mean to leave out Thundercat because he's amazing. Thundercat and Boy Wonder. Yeah. Obviously for, you know, Black and Berry. But sorry, you were saying.
No, I like the fact that, you know, he's not just working with like known producers. There's a little bit of, you know, new producers coming into there too. Yeah. I know Taz Arnold is he has like a clothing line. I didn't know he was a producer.
I didn't either. Can we get what? Just sort of elephant in the room? Because he had Tupac on the album. He interviewed Tupac or had a conversation with Pac on the album.
What did you think about that?
That was amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because he approached it the best way to approach it ever. A lot of people just put a lot of Tupac sound bites. You know what I mean? People are just like, oh man, you know, I'm going to have this soundbite from Pac on the thing, and it was like, bro, I'm gonna interact with this soundbite.
Right.
I'm gonna take this soundbite because these are my thoughts.
And it sounds natural.
And it sounds natural, bro. Everything was applicable to the saying. There was one part I think where he asked him about the analogy of. He asked him something about meeting him with something was met with resistance. And I think Pac's answer to me first sounded like it's not gonna fit what he just said, but then it made sense to me later, and it gave me chills, bro, because I didn't even know that was there. Like the first time I'm listening to the album, and I heard Tupac's voice. I had chills, like for real, because I grew up on Pac. You know what I mean? Like that's all we listened to. My dad has a Tupac tattoo after Pac passed away. Like that's how ingrained in Pac's music we were. Me growing up, so to even hear that, it was just like, bro, this is incredible. Right. I literally I got chills, bro. It was a beautiful album.
Yeah, I love the fact that he had, like, you know, the Tupac part on it, and I don't know. At one point, I felt like maybe the entire album was kind of being rapped to Tupac, and they were just kind of like he made this, and you know at the end like they're sitting in a room together, and you know he's just playing them the entire album. But I don't know if I feel that way anymore. But it was just a thought that came across.
No, but you know what? Even the fact that it even spurred that thought. You know what I'm saying? I think every rapper should be out there trying to impress Pac. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. Pac and Big. Every rapper should be out there trying to impress those two rappers. Like if they were alive or the spirit of these rappers, bruh. And it's huge. It's monumental, bro.
Right.
It's huge, and it's so much bigger than just this music.
We can essentially be breaking this whole album down for the next hour, but we're gonna kind of cut it. And what would you give this album in terms of a rating?
5.
5 easily.
We're rating out of 10. I'll give it a 10. Rating out of 20. I'll give it a 20. It's perfect to me, bro. It's very rare that an artist goes into an album with a direction and an intention, and they're able to fulfill that perfectly. This album does not sound like people want it to sound, which is why I've heard, this album's not as good as Good Kid, Mad City. I'm like, I don't understand how you say that, because the production is better than Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City was not as good as Section 80 to me.
No, not at all.
And that's not to say that it was a bad album, because it's definitely a good album.
It's a good album, but I prefer Section 80 over
I prefer it so do I. And it seems like this is centrally themed. This had an intention. It fulfilled that intention. It inspires so much thought.
On top of that, it feels like this album is like, if you look at this album, you have different shades of like his past projects too.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I like, because it reminds me of Kanye. Kanye never makes the same album twice, and Kendrick hasn't done that either, even though they kind of have like a similar theme, but it's all building towards one thing. And I don't know, where he's gonna go from here. It'll probably be at least another 2 years before we get another Kendrick Lamar album.
Maybe 3, 4.
Yeah.
This is the kind of album you can leave off on for a couple years.
Maybe. It just depends on how
we'll hear him,
it's pushed. Yeah, definitely.
Can I say it really quickly though?
Go ahead.
I'm excited for TDE. I'm excited for what's coming out of their camp. It seems like every rapper, everybody on their label has a caliber to do something like this. I'm a really big Schoolboy fan.
Right.
Like, I'm a really big Schoolboy fan, and I feel like what was it? Oxymoron was not as strong as it could have been, because it wasn't as good as Having Some Contradictions by far. And but I get it.
I think it's just label, like,
of course.
And then now that he's sold, a high amount, I think it was 150 first week. I think he has that power to make an album that he really wants to do.
He can go do this. He can go make.
If he wants to make something like that.
If he wants to make something like this, I'm just saying, whatever his vision is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He can now go fully realize whatever his vision is off the strength of this album, off the strength of the sales of his last album, off of the catalog he had before TDE was, what we know them as today.
Right.
Having Some Contradictions, he had setbacks as well. You know what I mean? So off of the strength of those, they make really quality music.
Yeah.
Why is somebody else doing that? Why the fuck is no one else able to make this quality music, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, stick to, and make the music with integrity. Like, this is what I want to make.
Right.
I'm going to make it. That's somebody able to do that. I'm getting it.
So, you're giving it a 5.
I'm giving it a 5.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5 as well, because it's the album I'll be listening to for the rest of the year.
Yes.
I listen to it when I walk every day.
I'm listening. I'm hearing new things about it. I'm hearing new things in it all the time.
And that's what it makes an album. One of the things that makes the album great is when you can still constantly listen to it, and you're still, you're still absorbing, you're still learning from it.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks, and I still listen to, and I still have new thoughts about it. But we're both giving it 5s.
I want to say, sorry, I know I'm talking.
Go ahead.
But a lot of people haven't heard the end of I. I talk to people and I'm like, yo, I is a dope track. And people are like, what, bro? Not that poppy kind of da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, have you heard all of I? And I reference it, and people, we were in the message board the other day, me and my guy Knowledge, shout out to Knowledge, because we had these conversations, and he was like, people don't know what that is. I'm like, how can you say you fully digest the album if you haven't heard that?
Right.
He was like, you haven't heard it. You didn't even know what we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't get people that don't just listen to the whole album. I don't care if you heard the single before. We all heard the single.
I told you I started to skip it because I was like, I heard the single multiple times. I hadn't seen the video and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna start to skip it, but I have to be able to listen to it all the way through.
Right. Let me throw this out here.
Go ahead.
I see people saying this album is trash, it's whack, and I hate when people do that because there is trash music out there, of course. Absolutely. But to say Kendrick Lamar's album is trash is unacceptable to me. I feel like he put too much time and effort into this. You may not like the album, and that's fine. We don't have to force you to like an album, but your language needs to be like, I don't like the album. You can't say it's whack. You can't say it's trash. He put too much time and effort into it. This is not like a, one of them one-hit wonders that we've seen over the years try to make, an album in it.
I'm not gonna throw him by his name out there.
That's what
as far as other artists or anything. But like we've reviewed some albums that are trash.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was trash because it was poorly executed. It was poorly produced. You know what I mean? We've talked about those things. Right. This has such a high level, such high quality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if there was something that I didn't like, because there are songs on Good Kid, Mad City that I don't necessarily like.
Right.
And I get that, like what they were going for with the album, but I was like, brother, this is like, there's stuff I don't like. It's not trash, but I just don't like it. You know what I mean? Every track on this album I liked, bro. I was unsure of King Kunta because it didn't sound like I thought it was gonna sound.
When it first came out, it definitely
I had to hear it.
The Black and the Berry was the only single that really caught my attention, but everything else was kind of like I don't know. But I reserved judgment until I heard the album.
He's the type of artist that he forces you to respect that. You know what I'm saying? He brought the loud back, bro. He brought the loud back. I was listening to First 1 Second today. But that's, I don't know. I had nothing more for it. That's where I sit with this perfect album to me.
Definitely.
And not on no fanboy shit either. Because I know a lot of people are, you're just a fan. No. You have to really sit and digest like the message in this album. Like if you're a black person, if you're a person in America, if you've been oppressed, if you felt any type of insecurities in life.
If you're a person in general, you can find something to relate to on this album.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like it speaks to it. Right. I don't want to like exclude anybody, but I feel like everybody could benefit from this.
Yeah.
I think it's the longest review we've ever done.
It might be. Subscribe to the channel. Yes. Like the video. We want to hear your comments because this is a really good album.
Absolutely.
And we want to hear what everybody else thinks about it. And follow us on Twitter at Sermons Domain.
At Evil Marsupials.
Once again, thank you for watching. I know it's been a long review, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we provided some more insight, and we definitely want to hear yours. Thank you for watching.